what I have learned personally, having myself been detained and arrested right at protests and charged with criminal trespassing, UNM trying to make it so I couldn't protest on their, on that campus in Albuquerque. I think they have 2-year trespass is what they were trying to put on me. So I did need attorneys, and I did need people in the justice system who advocated for me. And so we do need good attorneys. We do need people in this very rigged system. And I believe that Mr. Ubias, he's a man of character, he's a man of integrity. I support him. Well, we agree on everything, but in fairness, and again, for Keller knows this, and I think we've made this pretty clear, right? We try to go to the person first. I tried for 3 weeks to talk to Keller, trying to get him, the Indivisibles tried to get him to put on a forum, like he's avoiding. So then you leave us no other options but to call you out publicly, right? We tried privately, and then he had somebody, from his office call me on a different issue, but not call about the National Guard stuff. So that's why I'm not talking about this zoning baloney that you're doing next to my house, because I haven't had time to, talk to people and see what you all are going to up to and do. But if that doesn't go well and you guys are just as slimy with that as you are at the National Guard, then yeah, I'll be making some videos about how public notice really isn't public notice. Anyway, so I highly recommend, so this video is to ask folks to start coming out to Albuquerque City Council meetings, and for these little Dem groups that you guys have your meetings on the same day and time that City Council is happening, the message that you're sending to us in the public is that you're up in some high cloud social group over there thinking that you're going to be, behind the scenes getting people elected or not elected, and you totally are missing the point that you are so disconnected from the actual people who these policies impact the most, like you don't care because you're not there. And that's kind of my mantra with Democrats. They don't care and they're not there. But Ubias has come out. He's come out to community. And before he was running, this is the other thing. He's not just out here because it's election year. He was out here with us before. So the Black Lives Matter leaders in Albuquerque, he reached out to us. When he became a U.S. attorney, that was another contact that I had with him then. I appreciated how he handled those situations, and we have had peace in Albuquerque throughout that time that he was U.S. attorney. We have had peace, right? So the protesting community and the city, we were able to work things out, and we got through that season without anybody dying, being shot by police, or in my case, right? I was shot, but it was with a gas canister. But after that, nobody else. We had one event where the police came out with their SWAT. They tased people. They pepper sprayed folks. Both folks were hurt and injured. Two of those guys sued the city and won, but one of them was actually behind the whole thing. So, Tay, I still think you're a snitch, or an ambassador to the police, right? Who we all know is corrupt as can be. So why you are an ambassador with Medina, suspicious. Anyways, I highly recommend that folks start coming out to city council meetings, making public comment, asking the questions that you want answers for. The city councilors will help you. They've been very good about getting answers, or asking different city departments to get answers. And most of the folks who are working for the city really are trying to do the best that they can. We've got really good people in these departments. I'm not going to say all the appointees that the mayor put in that are making $100,000 a year, and they're going to milk off the retirement teat of the state because they're in for 3 years doing we don't know what, getting paid a lot of money, and then of course when the mayor's not there, they're gone, but they've already got vested in the retirement. And anyway, so then the rank and file who are making $15, $20, $25 an hour, right, they're not going to retire at that high retirement rate, and they work there 25, 30 years, right? So that's part of the problem with allowing a police chief and a mayor to appoint whoever the heck they want and pay them whatever they want. They're not vetted the same way. They don't have to apply the same way. And this mayor, lots of mayors have done it, but this mayor, Mayor Keller, $1.1 billion budget, and one of the things that he cuts is, anyways, I would like to have change. Let's give someone else a chance who has proven themselves to be calm, who has proven themselves they know the law because he's an attorney and he was a prosecutor and he was a U.S. attorney, right? He knows the law, but he has a good heart. So that tells me that just because we do have criminals in I-25, I-40 is human trafficking central. We do have a lot of drugs. We do have things going on. We have, because of poverty, we have a lot of people out on the streets and they're doing some not so great things, and some of it is criminal. And so we need absolutely to address those issues, and we also need to do that through a lens of trauma informed, because we have a lot of trauma in this state, right, because of the colonization. So we have people who are displaced from their land, and because of the generations from the boarding schools, right, they are out here on the street self-medicating, and that's what we did to them, right? So now to then come back and criminalize these folks is just absolutely inhumane. And then to treat people, my friend Barbara Jordan was speaking yesterday at the public forum, or giving a response to people's question, and Arthur Bell, and thank you, City Councilor Rogers, Nicole Rogers, and Miss Tanya Covington, Restorative Justice Queen. So the Queen of Peace, that's what we're calling our little tour, Queen of Peace, and Arthur Bell will be our Prince Arthur when he has opportunity to join us. But we are going to be doing a series of public forums with the goal of trying or attempting to get information to those within the Democratic Party, mostly. I think they, the ones who are, ooh, National Guard's so great. Yeah, no, it's not, and let's tell you why that's a really scary thing to have them on the streets of Albuquerque or in Albuquerque, the precedents that sense, and then with the CASA agreement gone. Right, so June 7th, we're going to have another public forum in the morning. And the questions were tough. We only got through, we didn't even get through the first topic. We had 3. The goal was to define community, and then is it possible to have community policing? And so we were just talking about what policing is, what it could be, what we think it is. We didn't even get through like an hour and a half of really good, tough listening, discussion, comments, and what do we want. So we're going to have 5 more throughout this summer. The Queens of Peace. Barbara Jordan is with Press, which is, let's see, people experiencing systematic systems. No, people, let's see, Press. No, racism, people experiencing racism. Oh, I'm going to have to look that up. I'm apologizing, Ms. Jordan. But she's with Press. She's Executive Director for Press. Of course, Tanya Covington is Restorative Justice. And I am part of the New Mexico Stronger Together Coalition, which is 44 different groups in New Mexico that we just all partner together because we're small in number, all of the nonprofits, but together we are a large number. And we work together sometimes well, sometimes not. But as long as we kind of keep understanding it's not a competition, it's not a race, it's not who gets credit for this change or that change, or raising awareness for this or that, right? Truly in a coalition, it's how can we get, what resources do we have individually to collectively that we can utilize to bring about change safely. And that's where I personally disagree with some of the groups in town, is that yes, I have privilege, and yes, I have freedom to do certain actions, but will the ultimate result of that actually put people in harm's way? That's kind of the question I always ask myself. Yes, we could set all the dumpsters on fire in Albuquerque, but how will that help marginalized people? Yes, we can block all the roads. We probably have the right to do that. We could get away with it, a couple hours of blocking roads, but and that we need those kinds of things too. I just would ask, ultimately, is that action bringing change or bringing awareness, and will there be consequences to marginalized folks? And so we just need to really be super, super cautious of how, in this very dangerous fascist time, how our actions as activists, organizers, and leaders, how does that impact those we say we are trying to help and advocate for? So let's be mindful out there, folks. I do ask you all to come to City Council, and this is how you can sign up for public comment. This is Mr. Ubalis's. This is Mr. Ubias's contact information, his website, how you can volunteer. He needs petitions signed, and he needs $5 donations. So really weird thing in Albuquerque, if they have, the state actually, they have a certain number of donors who donate at $5, then they can these candidates qualify for public financing for the rest of their campaign. So again, this is the part of the campaign where he's trying to, or the candidates are trying to get on the ballot. And to get on the ballot, they have to have a certain percentage of the voters that sign up and say, yes, this guy can run. We know him. He's from this city. We think he should run, and you can sign for that. And then the $5 contributions, which is additional. Again, the same amount of people donating $5 so that they can qualify for public financing, which then will help, of course, with advertisement and things like that. So I'm not a Dem. I'm not going to any of their ward parties or any of their little recruitment fundraiser parties at these people's houses, because some of those folks are the very ones saying, "Ooh, National Guard, great, great, great." Yeah, no. But Mr. Ubias, him I believe in, and he's not like a staunch, a do or die Dem always. He has a critical thinking mind, and he has pushed back against the Dem Party, and that's partly why he's not getting as much public support from the Dem Party, because again, we have a governor who just sent down a National Guard into a city that is the most diverse in the entire state. But